Good morning, class! Let's start our discussion for today with a prayer. So may I ask everyone to rise, bow your head, and feel the presence of our Almighty God. Itianagan ti Ama, ti Anak, and ti Espiritu Santo, Ama, amin na data sa dilangit. Madalaw tinagan mo may kumati pagaliya, marami kumati pagkita, ako sa langit, istan, diga. At di ang kumakada kami na daron minaldaw, kahit pa kunin ko duwas baso, lumikin ka, tapakunin na sa min makauta ka na kami, hindi na kami ito pa nakasulisipit sa lakan na kami dilakis. Tinagan ti Ama, ti Anak, and ti Espiritu Santo, Amen. Amen? How are you, everyone? Oh, that's great that all of you are fine. You may now take your seat and pick up those scratches that is not necessary for your learnings. If you have any questions all throughout our discussion, just firmly raise your hand so that I can recognize you easily. Avoid chit-chatting, talking with your seatmate. Is that okay, class? So if that's the case, let's start by checking off your attendance. If you are here, just say present, and I want you all to put some exclamation point at the end of that word so I know that you are not literally present, but you have your mind and your energy that is present for today so that you are not being forced to learn for our discussion for today. Is that okay, class? So where is Mr. Pert Tanapol? Okay. Mr. Taitsawan? Ompawat? Win Metawin? And where is Mr. Golf Kanawot? Okay. Very good. All of you are present for today. So before we move on to another idea, before I will impart you another knowledge, I want you first to share. Let's have a recap about our discussion last meeting. Who can give me the discussion? Who can remind me what we've been discussed last meeting? Yes, go. Very good. That is what we've been discussed last meeting. That's great that you still know what we've been discussed last meeting. So about that, I have here prepare a jumbled letter, and what you only need to do is to guess what is the hidden word. You only need to arrange it and guess what is in the hidden word. Are you ready, class? Okay, so this is the hidden word in 5, 4, 3, 2, and what? Yes, Mr. Tai? Very good. It's all about the jumbled word is all about theater. So if theater comes into your mind, when you hear theater, what comes first into your mind? I want to hear your perception or the words that come first into your mind when you hear about theater. Anyone from the class? Okay, yes, you win. Okay, it's again, come again. Very good. It's all about drama. So let's try to write drama. Any other idea coming from the class? Yes, Tai. Again, Tai. Very good. It's the role playing. Mr. Ong, do you have any idea? Again, come again. Very good. That is, it can be musical play. So another. Do you still have idea? Do you still have unique word that is connected to theater? Yes? What's your name again? Very good word. That's opera. Based on the words that you have been given, what do you think is our lesson for today? Based on the web organizer, what do you think is our lesson for today? Anyone from the class? Yes, we. Very good. It's all about theater. We will going to explain, we're going to explore what is all about theater. But to be exact, that's our topic for today is the elements of arts as applied to Western classical theater and opera. So at the end of the discussion, everyone must be able to understand the history of the theatrical forms and their evolutions. Second is you must also need to appreciate the importance of various elements of art at the end of this discussion. And the last but not the least is applying elements of art to Western classical theater and opera. So without further ado, let's start our discussion from the history of the theatrical forms and their evolutions. Do you have any idea about it? Okay, if there is none, let me lend your ears and eyes so that you can really learn what I've been talking about for today, what I will be going to discuss to each and every one. First is, theater began from myth, ritual, and ceremony. Early society perceived connections between actions performed by groups of people. So, theater performs not as an independent, not as an individual one, but it is performed by a group of people which is portrayed the myth, ritual, and ceremony. For the second bullet, we have these actions move from habit to tradition to ritual to ceremony due to human desire and need for entertainment. So that is only means that theater has the main objective, which is to give entertainment to all of the viewers. So now let's move on to the elements of arts in Western plays. And now, do you have any idea about it? Okay. Yes, very good. It's gesture. It can be gesture. Very good. It can be music and sound. Makeup. Mask. Okay, let's check if what you've been talking about, what you have been given is correct. For the first is we have sound and music. Very good. Sound and music. Why do you think sound and music is an element of arts in Western plays? Yes, because just like for example, when we talk about a role play, when a teacher given you a role play, a practicum that is role play, of course you need the music. Just like for example, you need to have a background music. You are using a speaker to provide sounds and music in order to convey the viewers to what you really want to tell on your drama, on your role play, right? So next is for the gesture, movement, and dance. So for this second example of the elements of arts, why do you think it is belong gesture, movement, and dance? Yes, because just like for example, it is not only applied in the theater, on the role play, but also it can be applied on our real life situation. Just like for example, if I wave my hands, just that was an indication to say hi, right? You already know that even if I am not talking here, if I wave my hand, that is the indication of saying hi. But if I do it at the last part, of course, the indication of this is goodbye. That's not hi anymore, right? So now for the third part is we have costume, mask, makeup, and accessories. So for this costume, mask, makeup, and accessories, we will try to dig deeper about this as we go on to our topic. So for the first part, we have sound and music. For this, I have said a while ago that musical background is an example of sound and music, which is they are using this in honor roll thing. But we also have opera, that music and song is not only used as a musical background, but they are using it all throughout their performance, which is they are using it from the beginning of their performance at the end of it. What is an opera ba? Opera is an art form in which singers and musicians perform a dramatic work combining text, libretto, and musical score. The performance is typically given in an opera house accompanied by an orchestra or a smaller musical ensemble. With this, the best example of this is Miss Lea Salonga and Miss Rachel Ango, which they joined the Les Miserables, and that was an opera which they try to use the songs and music to combine in a word. They are putting a melody into throwing their lines in order for them to have a unique conversation, unique theater play like that. So with that, let's now move on for the next. We have gesture, movement, and dance. That is the second element of arts. And I have said a while ago that when I wave my hand, that was an indication of saying hi, right? But when I wave my hand at the end of the discussion, that is already saying goodbye. But my question right now, people, is that when I wave my hand, yes, I am waving my hand right now. Where do you think it is classified? Where do you think it belongs? Is it on the gesture, movement, or dance? Very good. That is belong on gesture because that is only a sign, which is when we say movement, that must be a locomotor. Must be a broader term for the gesture, which is I am not moving. It only moves my upper extremities. So if it is not a movement nor a dance, because I am not dancing here, I am not broad, it is not a broad term, which is I am only waving. With that, let us go now to gesture for further explanation for that. Gesture is defined as a sign that communicates as the character's action, state of mind, and relationship with other characters to an audience. With that, we only need to put emphasis with sign. Because on sign, it is a sign, and if it is already a sign, that is a gesture. As I've said a while ago, this is a gesture because this is a sign of saying hi. When I use this is a sign of peace, and that is a gesture. Aside from that, gesture can also be the direction. Just like for example, if there's someone asking you, where is Robinson? They are asking you about where they want to go, and you are just only pointing it out. And that is a gesture. You are not speaking, but you are giving a sign, which is a gesture. That is what is the power of gesture. You are not speaking, but you are only giving a sign, and you already convey you already answer what they asked to you. And now, let's move on to the movement. Movement of any part of the body to express idea, feeling, or mood. So just like for example, if I smile here, is that already convincing to say that I am happy? That my serotonin is, that my hormone is, that I release happy hormone, that I have serotonin hormone right now? No, right? But when I use this, that was already an exact, but that is more convincing that you are happy, right? And that is what power of movement. You are just going out, you are portraying the emotions in order for you to convey easier, to touch the viewer's heart easier. And for the next part is we have the dance, which is the theatrical dance. For this is any form of dance that is performed for an audience as opposed to social dance, which is primarily social in nature. With this, because dance is not only a dance. Dance is done with a emotion. They are dancing to convey it also have feelings. Just like we have the lyrical dance, we have the dance because they portray not only that but also everything dance. Mas lalo na ang theatrical dance. Because this second element is that I think, in my conclusion for this second element is that dance is the broader term for the broadest term, and movement is the broader term, and the gesture is the specific term. Gesture to movement to dance. They are just a stage. Yes, they are stage. Do you get what I mean, people? So now let's move on to the third part, which is the costume, mask, makeup, and accessories. For this is we have costumes, are a special kind of clothing worn by actors on stage in order to aid dramatic actions and interpretations. It was very rampant na we are using punit-punit kapag gumaganap tayo as a batang lansangan, as batang yagit, right? And that is already a costume. Kahit na punit-punit yan, kahit na basahan yan na sinuot mo, costume pa rin yan. And you are portraying as a poor person nga. Diba? And that is what is the power of costume. That is how powerful costume is. Even if you are not already performing, but when they see you, what is your costume? Just like, for example, you are wearing a ball gown, like that, and of course, they will conclude you as, oh, they are pretty, she is pretty, I think she will portray a rich one, like that. And for the mask is mask has been used almost universally to represent characters in theatrical performances. For this, the mask is that when you are familiar for the always logo of the drama, we have the happy and the sad. And why they are? Because the two genres portrays that, I think. And with that, that genre of that is the drama and the tragedy and the comedy, which is the tragedy is when kapag namatay yung bida, of course, that is already a tragedy for you. Siyempre, bida siya tapos mamamatay, pero as we already expected and a cliche of statement na bida yan, hindi yan mamamatay, like that, right? And for that, and we also have the what I've said, I've already discussed the tragedy, and we also have the comedy, which is what they call the happy ending, right? And now we have the makeup. Makeup is often used to create a visual stereotypes or cliche that will be readily understood by the audience. You need to take note for that, the stereotypes and cliche for the makeup. Because that was really true. When we see a person who is wearing a very dark eyeliner, we will already conclude that he was a bad guy, he was a drug addict, a rockista, right? And when we see a person who is wearing a fascinating makeup and role play, we will already conclude that he has a rich personality in that scenario. But in makeup, it does not only include the fascinating makeup, but it also includes the makeup for the dead or the people who are about to die or the people who has a malignant disease. They are using the concealer, the make powder, the foundation, just to make your face, your lips more pale and to portray, to have a better portray in your role, right? And now let's move on to the last element, to the last element of arts, which is the accessories. Props are the items held or used by the actors on stage to make the action more realistic. So accessories does not only include the necklace, bracelet, rings we are wearing, but also the props, because people. Just like, for example, the table, the chairs, that was already a props and can be concluded as the accessories. And with that, it states that props used to portray the role play more realistic. And some naturalistic performances use many props not when staging drama. You should question what is really necessary. For the accessories, you also need to consider not to overreact, over decorated in order, because we have an aphorism of statement that simplicity is beauty, right? So I think you are now partially knowledgeable. No, not you are not partially knowledgeable. You are really knowledgeable about the elements of arts as applied to Western classical theater and opera. So can we have a short recap about our discussion this meeting? Okay, if theater is performed by a group of people which began from, what I mean is that we've already discussed the history, right? The theater is performed by group, right? And which began from, I think I have mentioned this a while ago, the three of them. Very good. It's the beat, ritual, and ceremony. That was really great that you really understand what I've been talking about a while ago. So now I will divide you into 5 groups and you will be portraying the topics that you will be picking on this. And that will serve as your practicum, and of course you will be graded as what you have been performed. You may now group yourself if you want it, but I can also group you alphabetically. Okay, you will group yourself. While you are grouping yourself, I will be giving you the mechanics. I have prepared 5 different topics that you need to act. I want you to apply elements of art to Western classical theater and opera. In short, the things we discussed a while ago, which is the sound, music, gestures, dance, and many more. You are only given 5 minutes to present, 3 minutes to prepare and plan for your performance. Creativity and uniqueness for 15%, and that was the criteria. We have 15% for creativity and uniqueness, and I will include here the resourcefulness, since we are not it is a on-the-spot practicum. You can use your phones as, just like for example, I say a while ago that you need sounds, music as a musical background, which is you need speaker, but you can at least use your phone right now. And now the clarity of performance, 10%, 25% for the quality content, and 50% for the use of elements. That was almost half of your grades, almost half of your points right now, which is the use of elements. So I want you all to portray your topic with the application of your elements, with the application of your understanding and appreciation of the elements of arts. Is that okay? Okay, so now let's assume that you have already performed. Let's move on to your quiz. Do you want it? Okay, now bring out 1/4 sheet of paper and you will have a short quiz. Don't worry, because this is only one question and to be answered through your understanding and appreciation. So this is the question. Choose 3 elements of arts being discussed and state your reason why you pick those 3 among all the elements discussed. You can use bullet type if you want. Even if I say that it is an essay type, you can at least use a bullet form in order for me and also for you to easily recognize what you have been chosen among all the elements. Just only pick 3, huh? Okay, again, let's assume that you have already done answering your quiz. Now, for your assignment, based on your role play, I want you to enhance it and literally apply the elements that discussed for today. So next meeting, I expect a fun role play. There is no more resourcefulness. I want you all to prepare the costumes like that. I don't want your phone as your musical background, but the speaker on our next discussion, right? So if that, do you get it, class? Okay, if that's the case, goodbye class. Stay safe from the virus, stay negative from the virus, and positive in life. Thank you.